Is it that game? Is it time to wrap it up? Go back to Overwatch. The YouTube intro. The Marvel. I'm just gonna read this article. I'm gonna give you my opinions. I'm gonna tell you whatever the is going on. And I'll explain to you how games work, because I'm so tired of people yapping about how games are dead all the time. It's just like, actually, just there's a brain worm. It's eating my amygdala. Okay, so the Marvel Rivals player count has been on a downward trend for several months now. Despite a fantastic job by NetEase, it appears that all new content has failed to sustain player interest. May 2025 has been the worst month in terms of active players, which is surprising considering the release of Season 2.5 and Ultron. While the player count may seem grim, there is potential explanation for the sudden drop. Okay. First things first, Season 2.5 is fucking ass and boring, and so is Season 2. So you don't have a new battle pass for season. It's not even a new season. It's a mid-season, right? It's a mid-season, right? There is a new character, which is exciting. But you have to understand that at the end of the day, there isn't enough interesting things that have happened this mid-season patch to make people come back and stay playing. Because the rank is the same. There's no rank reset, no new battle pass, nothing crazy except Ultron, right? I also believe that there's way more DPS players than there are support players, for example, right? So I think Ultron as a character isn't a character that brings support players back into the game. It just keeps the DPS players more entertained, because he is kind of like a DPS player from that perspective, right? So it's not something somebody who's more casual, who likes Cloak and Dagger or Luna, would enjoy playing, right? So, but it is very natural for the game to fall down and decrease in players, especially when there is no new, like, except a new character. There was a new map and a new character. The game still feels the same, right? And new team ups and whatever there are. But the game at its core is the same, so why would you, like, grind Season 2.5, right? I also think there's, like, a little bit of burnout, right? Because people have been grinding for 6 months, and at the end of the day, you can't keep playing the game so much without getting burned out, especially because making games is hard. You can't just make games and, like, keep updating the game, like, reimagining it every month, right? It just fails to keep players' attentions and retain their engagement, because at the end of the day, you have to understand that it is a free-to-play game. Once you get to GM or get to whatever rank you desire, there is no reason to play the game except, you know, queuing up quick play, right? The only people that are hardcore grinding this game are people hard stuck in bronze, who just play with friends and have fun, and people in high rank, right? And that's it. Either way, I also don't think the game is dead. I don't think the game is dead. I don't think the game is dying. I think it's just natural progression or digression of any free-to-play model. I think the fact that it lasted so long going up is insane in itself, right? Anyways, I'm going to keep reading, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts. But according to Steam charts, Marvel Rivals peaked at 640,000 players in early 2025. Ever since then, the player count has been dropping. The game hasn't had more than 200,000 concurrent players on Steam for almost 2 months, which could be a significant issue. Now, I do want to point out that 200,000 peak players for a month, for a game that is 6 months old, is pretty good. A free-to-play game that's 6 months old, 200k players on PC only. This is without console, by the way. Is the game available anywhere else but on Steam? Like, is it on the Epic launcher? So these numbers are only Steam, and I think there's a big console player base. So I wouldn't be surprised if the player base is around 300 or 400 or even 500k peak, because there's no console. Console market is huge. I don't know how much, but I'm going to say an estimate like 350, 200. I'm just going to double it, right? I think there's a lot of people playing on console. From December, where it peaked 280,000 to 300,000 to 220 to 144, 130. I mean, that's not peak, that's average. 100k, 100k. I think you have to understand that there is no free-to-play game that comes out that keeps increasing the player base in such a fast period of time. I think we've seen a lot of free-to-play games launch and die instantly, because a lot of free-to-play games, at the end of the day, are free-to-play, and even if they weren't free-to-play, no game can retain people's attention for 6 months straight without reinventing the wheel once in a while. Like games like League, CS, Dota, whatever else, right? All of the Fortnite, they're all games that have been here for a while. This game is only 6 months old, right? Team Fortress, okay, I think that game is definitely dead. But my point is, it's very natural for a game to launch that is very high profile, like Marvel Rivals, go up, and then slowly dwindle, and then stabilize. I think around 100k is the stable average player count for Marvel Rivals right now, until they do a bunch of other stuff to make people come back and play the game and get hooked. But there is no hook outside of grinding ranked right now. I think 100k player base by itself is really stable. I think it's really good. I think it is nothing to cry about. I think compared to other free-to-play games, having 100k average is extremely good, which goes up to 200k whenever there's something new happening. But I understand why people are frustrated. I understand why people don't play the game as much. I think one of the main reasons why the game is dwindling in numbers, even though it is absolutely natural, is because a few reasons. I think one of the reasons is that the game is unstable, right? I think the game is super unstable. I think if the game actually ran better, they could start putting this game on PC banks in Korea, on internet cafes around the world, because internet cafes are such a big part of the game, of gaming community. That's how a lot of games get popularized in some regions of the world. For example, when I was talking to Korean streamers, when I was at Blizzard Campus for Overwatch stuff, they don't play Marvel Rivals at all. And I think one of the reasons is because the game doesn't run well, and you can't really run it on shit PCs. So it kind of really, like, the bad optimization really alienates a big portion of the player base, right? One of the reasons why Overwatch was so popular is because it ran on everything. Like, if you had the money to spend, you could run this game on anything. It is so well optimized. Whatever you say about Overwatch, it is extremely well optimized game. Compared to Rivals, which is super badly optimized, you need to, like, my setup, which is extremely expensive, it runs the game at 200 FPS when I'm streaming, which is insanely low considering the fact that Overwatch runs at 600. My PC setup is insanely expensive. You cannot afford to have 100 of those PCs. The setups on PC banks or people that have less money in poorer regions, it's just that the game doesn't run well. Therefore, it alienates a big portion of the player base around the world. People for poorer regions, especially the Balkans, right? Especially from maybe, you know, I don't think the game is as popular in Latin. It's not as popular in the Balkans. It's not as popular in Korea with the PC bank culture that they have. And I think that's one of the reasons. I think it's straight up because the game doesn't run well. And it's really extremely frustrating to play the game and try to play the game but have a horrible performance. And that is one of the reasons why CS got so popular, is because it would run on anything, right? CSGO would run on anything, and it would be free to play, right? League of Legends basically runs on anything and is free to play. Marvel Rivals is free to play, but it doesn't run on anything. It is horrible performance. Therefore, the player base is a lot smaller than it could be, especially considering how popular Marvel is, you know, and the fact that the game is pretty decent considering that it's a fucking Marvel game. Most Marvel games kind of suck. So I think that's one of the main reasons. I think they really need to try to make performance a lot better if they want to keep increasing the player base. I think if they come up season 3 and they say we fixed all the performance issues, the game runs silky smooth, everybody has 300 FPS, I think you're going to see a crazy rise in players, right? I think a lot more people are gonna try out the game. A lot more people from Latam, a lot more PC banks in Korea, a lot whatever else, you know, Balkans, whatever, right? I think it's instantly gonna do it, right? And I think people look at these numbers. Again, they look at these numbers. They see average player base. It's decreased by whatever amount, right? It's decreased by like 50%. Brother, listen. Again, 100,000 average players just on Steam, it includes Chinese players, is really good. I do want to point out, I think the game is still really good. I think it still does well on YouTube. I think it still does. People know about the game. People speak about the game. All they need to do is to go out and make a big patch which fixes all of the issues. And the issues are performance. I think a second issue is I think the rank system just sucks, right? I think having no placements, I'm a big fan of placements. I think you just need to add placements. It's just the experience sucks. For all the lower ranks, it just sucks. It's just bad, you know. It's just whatever, right? So I think having a placement system or fixing ranked a bit would be so much better. Because if the main purpose of grinding the game is to grind the game and get better at it, you need to make ranked a little bit more satisfying to play. I think in high elo, ranked is pretty good, not gonna lie, in the sense that how it works is pretty nice. I think in lower rank, it's just the Wild West, right? So if you're a starting player, all of us, Craggy, me, and Necros, have said that bronze was the hardest rank to get out of. Which is a crazy statement to make from us, because bronze is it should be filled with absolutely terrible players, but it's also filled with really good players, and then it's just every man for themselves, right? And everybody starts in bronze, which I think is just a horrible idea. No, when we were doing Unranked to Celestials, Craggy, Necros, and me, we all lost games in bronze, which should never happen, because we are tier 1 at the end of the day, right? If I would never lose a game in bronze in fucking Overwatch. Like, I know how to explain it in a better way, but bronze, it's easy to get out of. Don't get me wrong, because you get so many points and you have shields or whatever. But it must be so demotivating to be a new guy, start the game, play in bronze, and then getting your shit smoked 6 games in a row. Why would you keep playing? Right? Because everybody starts in bronze. If I make a new account, I'm in bronze. Everybody can snipe you in bronze. Everybody can throw in bronze. There's no reason not to do any of that in bronze. Because it's so easy to get to bronze. So, like, bronze is a piss easy rank, but it's very random right now because there's no placements. And I think chrono cards do not help with bronze. Like, it doesn't make it any better to lose because you're still wasting time. If you're I don't think me or Necros lost 6 games in bronze. I lost 6 games in bronze. You can call us shit or whatever. But, like, Craggy, I don't know if Craggy lost games in bronze, but he said he also struggled in bronze. That should never happen, right? We should, like, if you have no placements, we should be, like, instantly gone from that rank, right? We're also getting sniped. Yeah, but we're also the top 0.1 percentile of this game. Like, imagine you put LeBron James in a basketball high school team versus another basketball high school team, and they fucking row his ass. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen, right? It should, like, how are you supposed to compete as a new player at that point, right? Aren't you a part of the problem to go and smurf with a new character? I don't want to be in bronze when I'm learning a new character. I don't think you understand I'm not your enemy. That's why I want placements, brother. That's my point. I want to learn a new character. I can't go and learn a new character on my main account, right? Like, I don't think you understand. I don't want to play in bronze. Nobody wants to play in fucking bronze. I don't want to be there. Like, in Overwatch, if you do placements, you're instantly shot up to the rank based on the wins, right? Like, you don't understand. You cannot, like, you can blame me, sure, but I don't want to be in that rank either. Nobody wants to be in that rank. If you had placements, this wouldn't be even an issue, right? Like, Overwatch, for all its bad things, has a lot of countermeasures to avoid people getting to really low ranks when they're not supposed to be there. I cannot learn a new character by playing on my main account. That is, like, I'm again throwing games. It's the same thing. That is why I don't think there's anything inherently bad in making a new account to learn a new character. Because no matter what people say, this really tilts me, by the way. No matter what people say, learning a new character in quick play is not possible. Like, Sibao. Like, genuinely Sibao. Like, I hate people, oh, go practice versus boss or quick play. It's you are never learning that character, bro. Like, I want to learn a new character. I don't want to stay in bronze. I want to go against opponents that are on my level on the character that I am so I can learn the character. I don't learn anything by being in bronze. I don't want to be in bronze. It's not fun for me. It's not fun for anybody. So, yeah. Anyways, and wait, I have another one. Give us more custom game options. If you want an inherently casual experience, you need to enable people to be able to do whatever the fuck they want in custom games, like Overwatch does, and let people go wild and do silly stuff, because then creators can do fun stuff. People can do fun options. People can like do workshop stuff like in Overwatch. We can farm content like 10 Hulks versus 1 Rocket, right? Well, especially with Marvel characters, you can go crazy with it, right? E-date rooms, crazy, right? I think that is something Overwatch does really well. I think Rivals should do that as well, right? You should definitely allow people to create their own things. Right? So you cannot, like, if you want the casual experience, you should introduce a lot more options for custom games. I'm sure they're working on it. But you cannot, because if you want to play Marvel Rivals and you don't want to play ranked, what do you do? Because quick play is ass. Quick play is terrible. Custom games. That's what people do in Overwatch. That's how Overwatch has stayed alive for so long. Custom games. Custom games and the custom game browser. That's how so many games have popped off over the years. You have to. I think, and allowing people to revisit old mods or modes would be great. So I think custom games would be a great addition, like giving us settings. That would be great. I think people want to have a casual experience and have casual fun, but the only way they can do it is in quick play. A deathmatch is not it, and whatever else is not it. And then you can play ranked, but ranked is just inherently stressful, right? So if you want to go for the casual experience, you should let people do whatever they want with custom games, right? Like Fortnite with creative mode, Overwatch with workshop mode, right? Even CS, I know what's going on with CS right now, but you have, you had custom games as well in CS, right? So, no, please no Roku. But I think it is inherently nothing unhealthy to have 100k average players. Again, those are the things I would improve. But I think 100k average players, considering how many free-to-play games launch and die instantly, is extremely good. Like, I don't know how many people are playing the finals. I know how many people are playing Splitgate 2 right now. But like, I think 100k stable. I think 100k average players in one of the worst seasons we've ever had in Rivals is extremely good. Like, I don't think there's many. I think Rivals, if it does good changes, is on track to be a game like, League of Legends or whatever else, right? Like a monumental, like they need to make the right choices to make it a household name. But when League launched, that was really old. When League launched, the first 6 months were rough. When Overwatch launched, it was a Blizzard title, of course, but believe me, I was there, I was playing the game. It was fun, it was silly, but it also fell off after 6 months, right? So, it's okay. I think we really need to see what they do with Season 3. But if we just look at the statistics, we have exactly what we were talking about. And you see the peak players, the average players, they're all down. It's whatever. It's like, these are like last 30 days, May. It's pretty stable at 100k, right? So we're going to have Season 3. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be good. The game isn't dying. It's just stable at 100k. It's fine. It's always like this. It's so back. I know, it's so over. It's so over. We're so back. It's so over. We're so back. That's every free-to-play game ever, right? It's every free-to-play game ever. Every free-to-play game is always dead. It's always gone. It's always shit. I think I'm really surprised the game even lasted until, like, I think the fact that the game peaked after its launch in January is insane. I think they played really smart. And I think now that we're going to have a new character every month, they're going to bring up the hype a lot, right? Season 3, I think, is a very vital moment where they can pivot from, right? But it's good. It's good. And again, you have to remember, this is only on Steam. I've played a lot of games in my life. Every free-to-play game I play is always dead. Okay? When I played League, people would say League is dead. When I played Apex, Apex is dead. When I played Valorant, Valorant is dead. When I played Overwatch, Overwatch is dead. When I played any game, it's always dead, okay? So, I really hate the dead talk unless the game literally has 10,000 players concurrent. The game is fine, okay? I think we find games super fast. The game isn't dead. It's all fine, right? Street Fighter 6 is dead. Guilty Gear is dead. Fortnite is dead. Everything's dead. The game isn't dead. Stop saying the game is dead. Season 3 is gonna hit. Everybody's gonna come back. We're so back. Then people are just gonna get bored with the things they're playing because it's just new toys. And then they're gonna go back to work. We're so over. And then new season hits. We're so back. So over. We're so back. You get it. It's fine. So, and I think the most important aspect, really, is the fact that if you have fun playing the game, just play the game. Why do you care? I understand why people are so preoccupied with whether or not the game is dead. If you have fun, fuck it. Banger, cinema, banger. Have fun, play your game, locked in, whatever. Yeah. Just have fun, guys. If you have fun, keep playing. Why do you care? Even the game has 100 players, why do you care? But I want to finish reading this, and then I'm gonna watch the match. While the situation looks bad, there's a silver lining. This data only reflects players on Steam, who are not necessarily the majority. The game is also available on the Epic Games Store and PC, while console players can get it on Xbox and PlayStation. Although the player count for Marvel Rivals on other platforms is unavailable, it's easy to conclude that the honeymoon phase is over. However, the game is still doing well in comparison to its main competitors and is one big update away from reaching another peak. So true. Bestie, I said the same thing. Is Marvel Rivals dead? Yes. Go back to Overwatch.